It reach fast. All right, let me see now.
Some step up into life. Mm-hmm.
It thing up like that. You know, if you unmute, man, remember, say me not there on the mic, me not use the microphone again.
Okay, blessings. What's up?
But I'm there, man. I say a whole heap of things are going on in the earth, you know.
Can I tell you? Can I tell you? I was observing the things and I was saying to myself, I hope Jamaicans are aware that the activities that are taking place in Venezuela and other places, we should keep our eyes open and be aware that it means that there's nothing stopping this man from doing the very same thing elsewhere.
You know, as for Jamaicans being aware, you know, I see something recently. It came up very surprising to me, you know, because people people are willfully choosing to be blind to these things because right now you see some videos and then when I go in the comment section it's like everybody in the same thing where they rather drive themselves in a state of psychosis. You know, people want more substances right now to not deal with the realities of the things what happen, you know. So
Yeah.
you see, fear is now a new religion for the people, you know, for like the zombies, where they really don't want to deal with the realities. They don't want to see that an economy is an empire is on the verge of collapsing. You get it? Right now, you know, when you look at Iran and a lot of these places, Venezuela and so forth, what you see is that you see that a lot of these people are protesting because the currency losing value. So even business owners in Iran right now, them have to shut down because they really not survive. And you know, even in the US right now, these are things we're not really out on the internet like that. But people cost of living really they deal with the people them over there.
Oh
You get
yes.
it? The
Oh
West, you
yes.
know. The West run off of the American banking system, and that includes Europe as well, parts
Yeah.
of Europe, you know. So people don't understand, you know, if American military fail, if American banking system fail, everybody else were kind of dependent on them, they'll fail as well. So and this is
Precisely.
why everybody try to hang on to the dollar, right? You know, and what happened with Venezuela was, may I tell you, say what America do right now, you know how in the Bible it say a man make a wise move and because of wisdom the most I add 15 years to him life. This
Yes.
a move America make with Venezuela, then just add 2 more years to American empire, you know. You
Yeah.
understand?
Yes.
So so this was a very necessary move for them to make to keep the empire running because remember you know one of the first move they make recently where give the empire a few extra years was COVID. People don't understand that COVID was something that put America back on top. You understand?
Yeah.
Because they're and the economy the empire is on the verge of collapse. They don't really have anything that hold up them right now because look at the Middle East. Remember, you know, Venezuela have more oil than these countries. You understand?
Exactly.
The war in Ukraine, make in the early part of the war, America them already in a them reserve. You
Yeah.
understand?
Yeah.
Remember,
Yeah.
Saudi Arabia is moving towards the BRICS, so they don't really want to renew the contracts with the petrodollar contracts. Cause
Mm-hmm.
remember, you know, the empire, they call it Pharaoh empire based on the whole thing is backed by the oil is sell in American dollar. So at the end of the day, every country will be dependent by having the US dollar because everybody run off of oil. We live in our era right now where the countries then can't do without the oil. So in order for you to get the oil, you have to go buy US dollars. So this is the thing where keep that economy alive, that empire alive.
Well, what I've
You
been
understand?
seeing is
Mhm.
systematically the Asian market has been combining their forces. Europe will try combine their forces, and Canada is now joining with Europe on a lot of things. Because in times gone by, there were lucrative trade agreements worldwide that maintained a certain kind of balance. And the minute he affected trade by instituting tariffs and all of those other things, then they lost the relationships they had with these countries. Hence why I'm gonna bomb Nigeria, because of their resources and their precious metals. and this is why he's going after Venezuela as well. The long and short of it is all I'm seeing right now is Revelation and other parts of the Bible playing out. Everything that the Bible have spoken about these times where there'll be wars and rumors of wars, even though this is nothing new because it's been happening for centuries, but it's been ramping up now. More wars, more conflicts, and more, especially in Revelation, where it talks about the merchants, where it talks about trade being disrupted, where it talks about different countries closing their ports against this superpower. And that's exactly what I'm seeing transpiring right now with the United States. A lot of their markets that they have trade agreements with before, and they had good relationships with it when it comes to resources, they have lost all of that, and the ports are literally closing. People are stopping trade with them. So it's a
Yeah, yeah.
necessary evil. You know, like what who say Bob Marley or him son Junior Gang say them a talk about say the Bible must fulfill. Well, it is true. It have to fulfill. The words are life.
Right, right. And, you see, one of the things when we say read most of the Bible people, the people them whether the Bible thing pan TikTok right now is that me don't know. This is why it was necessary that we would have kings and priests, because priests deal with, like the way they call it spiritual affairs, and then the kings deal with political affairs. But we live in a time right now where the people them it's like them now try to integrate the Bible with what is physically manifesting today. You understand? People they
Right.
did a debate about this a scripture what Paul did mean when you have these things happening. And unlike back in the days where not happening in the West, everything was happening in the East. Right now, all of these things taking place in the West, and we are affected by it. So this is the time now to integrate the Bible into reality, so people can actually understand what they are experiencing.
Yeah.
As I say, me see the people them want to go into that psychosis thing where people want to, themselves with injection and edibles and these substances, as me say, because people don't want to deal with the reality of what's coming. They rather not to hear these things. Look at it, TikTok shadow ban me, two
Yeah,
people
I
in
was
a
just saying that because I can't even like from the last time we had a live, I can't even like the live right now. Can't like it at all.
really.
Yeah, I can't like it. The last time when we had live and they did the whole warning thing, it stopped me from liking it, stopped me from sharing the live as well. I just got back the ability to share back live, and I can't
Yeah,
like it. Because when I
yeah.
like it,
Remember,
liking it usually puts it up on the ranking so that more people can see it. Hi, Grace.
yeah,
Ah,
remember, welcome Grace. What's going on? Remember, from me do the hurricane the Operation Popeye video, cause remember, me do it the day before the hurricane, and then the electricity shut off the Tuesday morning, which is the morning of the hurricane. Me only hear say the video go in the million, 3 million views. Me not see that, cause remember me never have internet for a while and current. People come and tell me say, yo, the video went viral. Me have some people who me not talk to for years text me on WhatsApp and send the video in it and say, yo, Weezy, your video went viral, cause Weezy them know me
Wow.
as that's my old name, you understand?
Yeah.
So it's just showing you that the shadow ban my page. When you see me do video,
I figure
yeah,
out
go
how to
ahead.
like it. So here how it make me like it now. I have to click on your name, and then when the thing comes up, I see the little small like button. So normally I could have just tapped the screen and I'm gonna like it normally. You can't just tap the screen again. You have to find your name and go up on it and then press the like button. Come on, your thing go out there. But greetings everyone.
Go like that. TikTok have me under the thing there. So because remember, me now post video if people come laugh and get escape then depression. You understand? And stuff like that. Me I post videos where integrate things into reality. And TikTok not really want that. You understand? Me now come and the debate against Paul or Yahweh Shai and stuff like that. Me come with that thing which part you have to see reality for what it is. TikTok can't allow that. So yes, my page is shadow ban. You understand? Look much people up on my page, and in my lives are probably 4 or 5 people. If a
Yeah.
rare case in my past 10 of late. You
Yeah.
understand? 'Cause remember in the beginning, it was going up high. But then when we start go deeper in the politics, this is what happened to my page. But back to what we are saying is people need to focus more upon the what's physically happening in the earth, because everybody they get affected by it, and we in the West right now we can't avoid it anymore. We can't go in all of this sleep state and whatever, and we can't avoid it. It's happening. We're affected by it.
Yeah.
Cost of living, as we say right now in the States, like a few months ago or so, people used to have to sleep with people to pay them rent. Right now is a meal It's hard to
Yeah,
buy a meal a day.
yeah,
And
yeah.
that's where it's going. So I tell us say the move where America making of Venezuela, it just give the empire one next 2 years. I tell us say the
Yeah.
next election by the ending of 2027 to usher in the new president. I'm telling you, the world that we know today, we will not know it because after this Venezuela move, they don't have another string to pull. 'Cause remember, for war you need oil. You need oil. That's the one I think where they beat Hitler back in the days. You never have that oil. That's why they may want to try attack the minefield. I'm sorry, the oil fields. You understand? So them never have the oil, so they couldn't face Russia in the war. Russia them have oil. You understand? So this empire need oil. They tell we say, oh, America the number one producer of oil. Producer of which oil? Huh? America is dependent on Saudi oil, and not only that, the oil has to be bought by petrodollar, by the American dollar. This is why every country have to feed off of America in that case because you need the oil. No,
Yeah,
Saudi wants is moving towards the BRICS.
precisely.
Venezuela, South
Everybody
America,
is moving their dependence on other currency. That's what it is coming down to right now. So everything is being wired down. But as me say, I see it as a necessary evil. You know, I was saying to my sister the other day that I have to go call you and tell you say you were right. You remember me and you having this long argument about the casualties of war and how I felt about that and how you were saying, listen to me, man, it's just a part of the thing, and you're not really business about the innocent and da 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 because it has to happen that way. And I was so upset. You remember how upset me
yeah,
get?
man,
I'm
yeah,
going,
man.
but me, I'll stand up on my dresser when me I quarrel upon you, for show you. I stand up on my dresser and I quarrel upon you. But I had been observing over the past 2 years what's been happening, and I had to say to my sister last night, we need to call you and tell you that you are absolutely right.
Yeah, man. So you go, cause as we say, most of we dependent on how we feel. It's not about reality, It's about how we feel about reality. Like some people who say they not believe in a obia, so once they not believe in it, nothing can do them. The people that we live that are here today is like they don't believe that these things are happening. So they think that once they not believe in a hit, they not gonna get affected by it. Cost of living not gonna affect them. You understand? Taxation, inflation, these things not gonna affect them because them not believe. So what they happening is happening. The world is going into a state of psychosis, and this is why you see on TikTok, all of these funny videos, they are really helping people with their depression. Kind of like helping people, but
It
people are
helps you
trying to
to,
escape
yeah,
from
it
it.
helps you to not
People are
see
trying
the
to escape
reality.
reality. And when you go on Instagram is the most zombie site ever. Like the people on Instagram, they are the most spiritually asleep set of people. Cause in the video when we talk about with the Operation Popeye, it went on somebody page, King Mix Up page, and somebody show me it. Cause remember, I don't really use Instagram. A rare case me have to remember say me have an Instagram account. Somebody show me it, but when you go in the comment section, the mind state where you see under those people, like what age you live in, what era? You get what I try to say? Like, so Instagram is a thing where the man them where they sleep we just want to say woman they shake booty or some sexy thing and get a kicks after them mental, get fall in love with pixels. Instagram is for that. It's for people who not really drawn to reality. You understand? Like TikTok is more people who they try to go towards some form of spirituality. It's a level of consciousness on TikTok, but Instagram people may not know that they're in a whole different dimension. But overall, though, a lot of people they don't want to see what's coming. They don't want to hear. So fear is the new religion today. Everybody wants the fear to be pacified. This is why you see, it's like if you don't believe in a Jesus, you become Satan. It's like you're Satan's son. If you don't believe in them philosophies of Jesus, if you don't believe in this, or if you believe that war they come, it's like you have to try put everybody in a panic state. Like, dude, everybody have internet. You can see what's happening in the world. The
Amen.
empire is on the verge of collapsing, and the one thing they couldn't allow is that Venezuelan oil is sold in BRICS currency because that would be the end of the American empire. Sorry, Pharaoh's regime, called Pharaoh. You understand? Because,
Yeah,
TikTok deal with me already.
yeah,
That would be the end of it. So the last thing they would need to keep that empire running one extra 2 years is cheap oil where they have to buy where on the price where the market sell it for.
yeah,
It's just like back in the days, like when they come over here and conquer we. You have free slaves now. You have slaves who can do free labor. You understand? You know how big that push the empire? Having people where they can work for you where you don't have to pay. That's why Russia and all of those people, they couldn't equal up to America because, and the North Korean, they couldn't equal up to America because guess what? They had to pay their workers to build their empire. Pharaoh, Egypt had to pay, Egypt had these people working for free. So of course they had to be powerful.
Yeah.
Even when you look on the whole emancipation thing, 'cause people don't even understand emancipation, with Britain, with British, what British do to the slave masters when they go under the thing? They had to pay them back about £20,000 at that time. £20,000 back then was a whole lot of money if you convert it today.
Yeah.
But they paid back their slave masters. When Pharaoh did that, he did not repay his the slave masters them. So what people did not understand about emancipation is that it's not a freedom. What happened is just you're emancipated from how you'd be a slave on a slave master's plantation, like at a house, at a farm
Yeah,
or
like
whatever.
instead of you paying rent, you're paying mortgage.
Right, kind of like that. But so what I'm saying is you're emancipated from being a personal slave to a slave master, but now you're being a slave to a federal government.
Yeah, the
That's what
system,
emancipation was.
it's
The
just a transfer
system.
of power. You understand? And creating an illusion of freedom is the best way to keep people under control. Giving them some sense of freedom of choice or some sense of freedom of religion to their knowledge, to their mental. They feel like they are free. Right? So when you give them that so-called freedom, they are easier pacified. It's easier to manipulate and control the masses that way.
Right, so that's basically all what's going on right now. So it's just a reality what we have to face. Somebody in the comments says something. Let me see what I say. For others will see their self but not change others to see. For others will see their self but not change others to see. As the power of the world is religion, but the power of one is Christ. Are you all right about the feeling of a split as the vibrations of the light of true horizon? Jet Blue, True Blue, I don't know if you want to come up and kind of elaborate on some things what you said down here. So, but this is where the thing is really at right now, Empress and Grace. You're in America. How is it going? How things going on over there? We like underground information. You can unmute and speak if you're available. I know you have to tend to mother's duty still. How
Um,
things going on?
it's been kind of quiet right now. Like nothing too much been going on. Even with because here they have I'm gonna say a lot of black predominantly places that they decided to send the feds and the whole CIA, pretty much all hands on deck that they send to the city that I'm in, Houston, someplace in Florida and California and Texas. And but they've been kind of quiet. They just been here, or you really don't know what they got up their sleeve. You can tell something possibly could be finna come on, but it's just you can't tell at the same time. Unless you just really paying attention, you really wouldn't know. But I do know the past couple days, I want to say, Trump has went and bombed places. So as of now, that's what we kind of joking about. But other than that, it's surprisingly calm here.
Yeah, it's gonna be calm, and this is why I said it's a thing to give the empire another 2 years. And like I said, normally people in America never really know what's going on in America or with America. Egypt. Let's call it Egypt, because like I said, the media has a way of shadowing, just like how they shadow me that my page is not going up. They have a way of shadowing things. So they
Yeah.
shadow information. Like even when Obama was in the seat, when you talk to American people, it's like Obama is an angel sent from God. Obama was bombing 7 Muslim countries in the same time, while nobody in America knows that Obama was bombing these Muslim countries. And like I mentioned about Nigeria, you see, one of the things that they use to play the people is they like it when the people are divided by religions or political beliefs or whatever. So when you have like Nigeria, where almost a little bit over half of the population is Muslim, and another region is Christian, that's a perfect thing to create a war. You understand? So make it seem as if this is a war between Muslims and Christians. Or really, you
Oh,
think?
and
It's
I'm
Yeah, go ahead.
sorry. I was just gonna say this and then I'm done
Go
now.
ahead.
So what just popped up on
Oh, you're
pre-
gone, Grace. Oh, you're
huh?
back. Oh,
Okay.
you're cut out. Just go ahead.
Okay. But do you all know that he kidnapped another president last night?
Which president?
Other than Maduro.
I'm not sure which one it is. I'm trying to see now. It just couldn't like it just popped up where they was just like making fun of saying it's
Do you
like
want to know
basically it's like
the
narcos. Like it's something going on. Like what president go kidnap another president?
Oh,
But
oh,
Well,
oh, oh. Yeah, I'm saying his next moves too is towards Mexico because you see, listen, when you see America talk about war, and I don't want to say the D word, DR, you know what I'm talking about.
mhm,
Narco, that's- war. When you see war and that, he's talking about the black man. When you see war and terror, he's talking about the Middle East people. You see what I'm saying?
mhm,
So this American war and weapons and war and narcos, we know exactly what the meaning is. You see what I'm saying?
right.
So yes, right now, like I said, they had to go into Venezuela for the oil because it's not really just about the oil, it's because of what's happening to maintain the banking system, the dollar, because petrodollar is gonna fail them. Saudi is failing them right now. The next thing is what do you need for your nuclear machines and equipments and all of these things pertaining to war? What's the main thing in the earth you need? You need uranium. No, if you need uranium, who are you going to conquer to get uranium today?
you have
You're
to
gonna
go to
go
the
to Niger,
Africa.
huh?
Go ahead.
I'm saying now that he gets the oil in from Venezuela, cheap oil that you don't have to buy at the market price. The next move is for him to go for the uranium. So any country with the most uranium, that's where he's gonna go. So he's not in Nigeria to fight what's it called?
Naturally,
ISIS.
naturally, we know this, and this is the thing, back in the day, in times of war, you had a harder time getting information out there, but now in the age of technology, the minute this went down and he came out and made his press conference about whatever he wanted to say it was about, people who are on the ground living in that area, they came out and they said, listen, we have no issues with the Muslim has no issues with us. We live peacefully together here in this community, in this area. We don't know what he's talking about. There is no ISIS here. You understand me? So even though there's still a large attempt to hide the truth, and they have succeeded for a great part in on their own continent to hide the truth from their own people, the rest of the world is aware of what's going on.
Definitely. So this is what I'm saying now. The next move that they have to go for is uranium. So anywhere they have a great amount of uranium, that's gonna be their next target. Because people don't understand that this is not World War II. In World War II, you know what helped America to be so great of an empire? It was the production. This is what people don't understand. When Germany was going to war and they heard about America, what happened is that they knew America was not a nation of war, like the advancement where Germany was. Germany had the greatest scientists. What happened after World War II? America took all the scientists. You understand what else did they have to do? They put, I think, the most American military bases are in Germany than in other parts of the world. More American military bases are in Germany that they are spread across the world because the minds of the people in Germany were so advanced. They took every single scientist after World War II.
Yeah.
You understand? So Hitler did not see that coming because America production ranked up so fast. They produced so much war tankers, helicopters, they even gave Russia some of these equipments, and that was the mistake. But right now you have superpowers like China, you have Iran, you have Russia, all of these people they are producing their own things. You see what I'm saying? America is behind. Remember, America was just testing hypersonic missiles recently. If you're testing hypersonic missile, it means that you don't have it established yet. Just like how the North Korean guy is testing these rockets, it means that he does not have it yet. You understand what I'm saying? So America is behind. But people can't see that. It's just like Brazil. Yes, Brazil is known for producing the greatest footballers, but that was history. Today is not so. You can't look. You can't have that 100% faith in Brazil. And what's happening today is people are losing trust in America. And this move that they made with Venezuela, that is that is the end game of America. You know why? Because if you can go in and take these people things just like that, what about other people that might have resources that you might need for your own empire?
That's the whole
Everybody is now
point of
vulnerable.
right. That's the whole
You know?
point. That's the whole point of what I was trying to make. It's not for us to sit down and say, "Oh my God, look at what he's doing over there." We need to understand that we already have an open door policy with that country, and one of the things I've always had an issue with is that we have to get visas to go to a lot of these big established countries, and they don't need visas to come here. That should have been established long ago. But not only that, we have such an entanglement with these countries that anything that they do affects us, and they can easily come in. They've been scouting out our lands for many years now. They've been doing many projects and scouting out the many resources on our lands for many years, and many people have been acquiring valuable pieces of our land for many years. So there's nothing to stop him from just moving right in with his military and saying, hey, guess what, this is another country that needs our intervention, because all of this is going on and the people are suffering and all these things. And I said this to my sister the other day, there's nothing stopping him from doing that, but I feel like if he were to try something like that here, it would have caused a lot more problems for him.
Remember now, as we talk about Jamaica, all of these, what you call it, colony of the British, because remember, British is America, America is British. It's the same thing. It's just the empire moving his seat. Because remember, they are fugitive and vagabonds in the earth. They keep running from their judgment, from the justice. You understand? So it's the same empire, just changing name. It's ancient Rome. It's the same thing. It's just Rome changing his name and changing his physical positions in the earth, running from judgment. So this is where Isaiah talks about this thing, what's gonna happen to them. You understand? The destruction that I read about in Isaiah chapter 14, it says, but there's one particular verse I want to get, where it talks about, art thou become weak as us. What verse is it? Art thou become weak as us. But anyway, in Isaiah 14, they talk about how you become weak. How does this empire, how does Egypt become weak as the other nations? Because first, what happened? Their allies would have to start betray them. So this is why you see Saudi Arabia moving away from them. Guess what? It weakens their dollar. You get what I'm saying? Everybody is pulling away. And now with this, what they just did to Venezuela, everybody who has resources in their country is now going to see themselves as being a subject, or being the next Venezuela. Because what are you going to do to protect yourself against America? Tell me. Remember, South America does not have a good ties with America already. Most countries in South America, they don't really deal with the US. You see what I'm saying? So what's going to happen to them? They're going to have to show that they are real bullies. Where it talks about, I think it's in Revelation, it says, you are not a virgin, pull up your dress, make naked the thigh, make bare the thigh. They think that they're this virgin, innocent, pure nation. No, you're a whore. That's what this nation is. It's a whore. You understand? It creates all of these type of fornication, because everything that America does with another nation is dependent on Americans' interests. It's not about the other country. They don't care about, like I said, they don't care about the Christians in Nigeria. It's about, okay, that specific geographical location is strategic to go into Niger, or Niger, whatever it's called. You understand? They don't care about ISIS.
That's so true.
So that's basically what's happening with the moves that we're seeing right now. So they are becoming very weak as allies are pulling away. Like I said, they open all their allies' eyes to say, "Wow, we can be the next Venezuela."
Yeah.
Everybody is now vulnerable. So, it's just like a narcissist, like how a narcissist will tell you, oh, you can't do this without me. I'm the only one that does this. Yes, of course, America is the one that you have banking system, you have the school system, the hospitals, the US aid. Yes, it's them. But it's very narcissistic. It's very controlling. So the only reason you're getting these things from them is because they can control you. But now that you wake up, like when they would say you see the narcissist for who he is, now you start to pull away yourself. That's when they get into this narcissistic rage. So once you start to withdraw from America, they get into this narcissistic rage. You see what I'm saying? And now they start using brute force and bullying and physical force. So you are just gonna be another victim of them. You're no different. It doesn't matter how much you think you did this for the narcissist. You gave him this, you gave him that. It means nothing to them. They don't have that compassion side of them to think about what you did for them. They
Somebody
only
just
can see
said
what.
something in the comments
Go on.
here. TOG said in the USA, the more religious states, the more religious a state, the less educated and the poor the people are. So that's their comment to some of what you've been saying. So that in the
You read
United
that again?
States, the more religious a state is, the less
Mhm.
educated and poor the people are.
Oh, okay.
Thanks for your input.
It's, I mean, I understand that exactly, you know? So it depends on what we talk about religious, because like I said, there are many religions and fear is the new religion right now.
Well,
So a person might not be.
traditionally, the Bible Belt in areas that they talk about, the states that run through that area where a lot of, what they call now Christians reside.
uh,
Yeah, those areas. That's what he's saying. A lot of those areas that have a lot of those fanatical Christians, they are the least educated among the country.
Okay, right. So this is where you see people have been conquered, and this is what we turn a blind eye to, the fact that we have been conquered. You know, like the 50 Cent movie Get Rich or Die Trying, how I think they stepfather unalive his mother and grew him like his real father. So it's basically like this, you know. This empire came over here, destroyed us, and they become our parents. You
Yeah.
see, because we don't know our real parents, we don't know about our we call it ancestors from Asia or Africa or wherever. We don't know about them. We know about America being our mother and father. You see what I'm saying? So it's hard for you to come and tell us today that hey, America is the enemy. You see what I'm saying? How
Yeah.
America is the one that give us education, give us schools, give us clothing, give us everything you can think about. So how can you tell me this man is my enemy? It goes back to Revelation. You know, in Revelation it says, um, what it says in Revelation, Babylon is a mystery. Why is Babylon a mystery? Babylon is a mystery because if this person give me food, clothing, shelter, hospitals, churches, tissues to go to the bathroom, shampoo, how can this man be my enemy? This is why Babylon is a mystery. America is a mystery. It's not easy to receive that. It's just like a relationship with a narcissist. The narcissist, yes, he pays for your this, he pays your, he's the best provider you ever met in your life. How can that narcissist be your enemy? You see what I'm saying? That's the same mental thing we are going through. So until people are able to see America, see Egypt for what they are or who they are, and see the relationship, until then, the empire will always thrive because it's based, it's how you can say, it's maintained by your delusions, by our delusions or our perceptions of them. If our perceptions of America do not change, nothing else will change. So that is going to create a religion in itself. You see what I'm saying? So even now, this is why it's even with the English language is the biggest religion on the face of this earth. English language, because right now people don't even understand what freedom is. Like people in Venezuela right now really think Trump just Pharaoh just freed them from their dictator, Venezuelan president. You see the mindset? These people really think that Maduro is really the dictator. You see why? You see why all of these, when you look from history, from the Akkadian Empire, Sumerian, come all the way up, all of them fall under the same thing because the system, the wickedness of the system is meant to collapse internally. Look at ancient Egypt. The economy first had to collapse. And this is the same thing that's going to happen. The economy first is going to collapse. It's not going to go into a physical nuclear war like we think it's going to happen. The economy is gonna collapse internally first, like every other thing in civilization, because what? They all do the same wickedness. Doing what? Let me just read something. Isaiah 14 verse 6. It says, okay, let me start at verse 5. It says, the Lord hath broken the staff of the wicked and the scepter of the rulers. This time it was Nebuchadnezzar under the Cushite, the ancient Babylonian. Verse 6 says, he who, talking about the wicked, smote the people in wrath with a continual stroke. Continual. It says, he that ruled the nations in anger. Look at this today, right? Who is smoting the people with wrath, with a continual wrath? Who is the one creating all this havoc in people's countries? Is it Russia? Yeah? Is it China? Is it Iran? Is it Venezuela? No. It's them. It's Europeans. Europeans. The only terrorists on the face of this earth is Europeans. I've never seen an Arab terrorist. I've never seen an Arab coming in Jamaica and overthrowing the government. Never. I don't know if you guys seen it. I've never seen a Middle East Arabian terrorist going to Trinidad or Cuba or wherever to overthrow their government. So what is a terrorist? Who is a terrorist? What is the definition of a terrorist? Who fits the traits of a terrorist? You see what I'm saying? Europeans are the only ones that go into people's country, overthrow their government, and put in what we call it? Like, for example, what they did with Venezuela right now, they have people who are American trained, so they're gonna put them in the seat, but they're gonna look like the Venezuelan people. You understand what I'm saying? It's gonna look like the people of your own tribe. So this is why the deception is even worse, because you're thinking, oh, this is a Venezuelan, he has the best interest at heart of the Venezuelan people. No, they have the interest of the American people. Look at Jamaica. We've been so-called independent since 1962. But everyone that sat in the seat, with the exception of Michael Manley, of course, everyone that sat in the seat, they always have the interest of the British. They never had the interest of the Jamaican citizens except for Michael Manley. And you saw how that went. We all saw how that went with Michael Manley. So you know what's going to happen with Venezuela now? Remember, they were under heavy sanctions and so forth with the Pharaoh, with Egypt, right? No, guess what? They're going to put back everything in there. They're going to put in new structural adjustment policies. They're going to rebuild that place. And now the people are going to be fed properly. So guess what? They're going to love America. This tactic always worked. They did it with Michael Manley. When Michael Manley was telling these people, it's on YouTube. Michael Manley was telling the people, this is exactly what they're doing. What did they do to Michael Manley? There's an infirmary with about 164 old people. The CIA went in, they cut the phone lines, they closed the door, they used petroleum jelly to catch the place on fire so no phone calls could go out. And they used that move to discredit Michael Manley. And from that moment, the people never trusted Michael Manley again. Never. Michael Manley was the one that gave them lands. that say, hey, all of this belongs to the government. Go and use it up. You go to certain places, this big scheme in Orange Bay. Those places were abandoned. Negril, look how beautiful Negril is. Look how beautiful Negril is. That would have never been under what's the other guy's name? Alexander Bustamante. Under Bustamante's hand, that would never happen. Matter of fact, I heard that he even said that if he ever drives on that road, he would be blind. And I heard that he was blind. You see what I'm saying? So, I mean, this is just interesting, like, let me accept this. I don't know, somebody said, okay. It's just funny, like, how people can be so blind because of desires. We see the same thing happening with King Curry up in the Maroon place. I mean, I hold no love for the Maroons, but it's the same thing. That's how you overtake a nation without firing a shot. Just divide the people. And when hunger drives them to madness, they don't care about anything. They just need food. That's how base people's desires are. Because what? They no care, no matter how educated these people are, they do not know political science, military science. And with those without knowledge of those two things, what is the nation of your people? What are they going to stand up for? It's going to be easy to infiltrate them because all they need is a plate of food. Give them what they think is their basic needs. That's all they care about. So is divide and conquer is very easy today. It's the easiest thing today. People don't care about the interests of the nation. People are more about what feels good to me in this moment. They don't care if they're gonna suffer at the consequences. They don't care about that. So you know what? The same tactics America does with everybody else. That's what China is doing to them. So I'm liking that. So Seoul, whatever it's called, Seoul or South Korea. South Korea and Japan and America, that's their triangle over Asia to contain communism and all of that, to contain China. So what, I mean, to contain China. So what China is now doing is doing what? Sowing discord between Japan and South Korea. So South Korea is now also pulling away from America. Japan is loyal to them. You know, Japan is their B, you know, that Japan is their slut. You know, because look at what they did to Hiroshima and Nagasaki. They did that to Hiroshima and Nagasaki. Japan is very loyal to America. Matter of fact, Japan even thinks that they are going to be the next superpowers after America. That's how delusional they are. You see what I'm saying? They can't even see that, hey, these people are your fellow, your brothers. You see what I'm saying? They don't understand. Look at where America is positioned. Look at where Japan is. If a war breaks out in Asia, America is far from that. Is your people who are going to be under threat? Your people are going to be falling prey to the weapons of Russia and China and North Korea. America is all the way. This is what he does in everybody's country. He come into your country, he creates havoc, make you build tension against your neighbors. Now when look at what's happening with Ukraine. American citizens are not feeling anything from what's happening to Ukraine, to the Ukrainian people. So this is what happens when you have somebody dictating to your prime minister to maintain their own interests. Your own people are going to feel the wrath of that choice, whatever consequences come from that. Your people are going to feel that. So when does this cycle end? So yes, China is in the ears of Japan and South Korea, but Japan is very loyal to America. So South Korea is pulling away, and like I said, Saudi Arabia is pulling away, and this is the beginning of the fall of the empire. Their allies have to see that they can be the next subject. They can be the next one that is subject to this betrayal, like what they did to Venezuela. They're gonna see how vulnerable they are to this. So once you stop serving the American interests, once you stop serving Egypt's interests, you no longer hold value to them. Like I said, it's like a narcissist. Once you can't give them the supply anymore that they need, then they whatever validation and this and whatever supplies they need, sex, that's part of the supplies too. Whatever they need to maintain this fornication thing, you are of no value to these narcissists, to this country, to this nation. It's a cycle. Grace, hold on. You and Empress got kicked off. Let me see if she's still here. I think she's in the chat, but I sent her an invite. System is still standing because the new world bring up a new system. That is why America's system is collapsing. True blue in the angels, in the cosmic family, and the masters of light. But if spiritual, so the physical people that see cannot see the unknown. The silent battle. Moving to the heart is to trust God's divine order, because the whole kingdom. I think Empress is having a hard time to come up. Grace, you have something you want to say? Okay, I think she's here again.
I'm here. I'm feeding the baby. Sorry.
Okay, no problem. Empress, you can try to send the request. I'm trying to add you, but I'm not seeing you again in the thing. I sent the invite already. So like I said, Isaiah 14 is what is going to be repeating, be manifesting in the earth. So let's go through Isaiah chapter 14, the first few verses. It says, "For the Lord will have mercy on Jacob." Now, we worship a God of polarity, which most people don't really understand the concept or believe in it. You understand? Listen, if you're showing mercy over here, then on the opposite side of the pole, by default, you are showing wrath to somebody else. Here's an example. If somebody kidnap a young lady, when the police goes to rescue that young lady, mercy has been shown to the young lady, but to the kidnapper, wrath, justice and judgment has been shown. So it's always a two-pole situation. So if mercy is being shown to Jacob here, judgment and justice has to be shown to somebody else. We see this happening over on the Gaza Strip right now. I mean, whatever is happening in Gaza, I can't say I'm in agreement with it, but I understand the judgment. Gaza, Ashkelon, all of those places over there, they are facing their judgment. Because guess what? You see, they have a thing that they say silent means consent, or silent is a form of agreement. These people know that the people in Israel back in the days were dark skinned, woolly hair, and stuff like that. They never once came out to say, hey, this is the truth. These people who are there, they are since the Balfour Declaration. Prior to that, it was niggers. So guess what? They support the lies of these nations too. So they have to face their judgment, because this is mercy for Jacob. Judgment being rendered to Gaza, it doesn't matter by the hands of who, because these nations are the sword of the Most High. And he chooses whomever to render judgment. So what's happening to Gaza? That's judgment, but that's mercy for Jacob. Anyway, it says, "And will yet choose Israel and set them in their own land, and the strangers shall be joined with them, and they shall cleave to the house of Jacob." Right? Verse 2 says, "And the people shall take them and bring them into their place, and the house of Israel shall possess them in the land of the Lord for servants and handmaids, and they shall take them captives, whose captives they were, and they shall rule over their oppressors." Like, a lot of people don't believe in slavery. They think, oh, why would a God condone slavery? Okay, if you stop creating your God, you will know why would a God condone slavery. Because the problem is, people don't have a problem with slavery. People have a problem with their understanding or concept of slavery. The only slavery people know is what America did to us. They don't know slavery in the Bible. They don't know that it's a law. So there's a certain way that you can treat your slave, and there's a certain way that you can't treat your slave. So the only thing, once they hear slavery, they can look at the Roots movie, 12 Years a Slave, and all of those type of movie. They don't have a real concept of what slavery is by law. So of course, slavery was a normal thing. In the beginning, there were kings. Kings do not work. Kings need slaves. It's just that kings were supposed to treat their slave a certain way. But the spirits in these people are not upright, so they can't follow righteousness. This is why they can copy what Egypt did. They can copy what Sumerian did. They can copy what the Romans did. They can copy all of these empires, but they cannot copy Solomon, because the spirit in them cannot manifest the lawfulness of this word. It's not in them to do it. They cannot live according to Solomon's principles. Because what? All of these people, they have to colonize their land. They have to take your resources, even if they don't want it. They can't stop themselves, because they have to feed off your soul. When you get all the resources, you get all the oil, the uranium, the this, the that from all of that. What else do you need? They need the people's soul. So they control our soul through time. This is why they change the perception of time. They change how you worship. They change how you align yourself with the earth. They change how you align yourself with the moon, the star, the sun. They change how you align yourself with the things that you eat. They change everything to control your souls through time. The soul is the three-dimension part of the human being. Three-dimension part deals with the third dimension of this fear, the world of fear and matter, the physicality. They control us through times and perceptions of reality. This is what people don't understand, the levels. They don't understand the dynamics. They don't understand how far this thing go. Right? Verse 3 says, and it shall come to pass in the day that the Lord shall give thee rest from thy sorrow and from thy fear and from the hard bondage. Hold on, there's a request here. Okay. Empress, I just saw your request. I was, carrying on. Um, verse 4 says, that thou shalt take up this proverb against the king of Babylon. The king of Babylon, back in this time, who was the king of Babylon? It was Nebuchadnezzar, right? It says, and say, how hath the oppressor seized the golden city? This was ancient Babylon, but today we know what this city is. We know what this kingdom is, right? It says, the Lord hath broken the staff of the wicked. So you see, it calls them the oppressor. It calls them the wicked. It says, the Lord hath broken the staff of the wicked and the scepter of the rulers. He who smote the people in wrath with a continual stroke. But then this was Nebuchadnezzar. Today we know who this is. It says, he that ruled the nations in anger is persecuted and none hindereth. So this is what they were doing. Nebuchadnezzar was conquering these nations, and he was doing what? Controlling everything, just like this empire today. He cannot leave you with your resource. Solomon, if Solomon does not have need for the cedars in Lebanon, he's not going to take it. He's only going to take it if he needs it. These people, they will take whatever resource you have and put laws so that you can't do anything. We have the backside in Jamaica. Guess what? You know what Solomon would have done? He would have allowed us to use our backside to maintain our country, right? And the people can live from that. Everybody would be in prosperity because the nation is benefiting from the resources of the land. These people, they have to colonize their resource. So it's like the men of today have no use to the society. We have no use to the nation because all of us would be using the backside to make all of these vessels, these warplanes. We would have our own naval fleet, our own military things, equipments, whatever. And plus we're selling some of it so we can make profits. I mean, cash, right? So the nation, every nation would be maintaining themselves. They cannot do these things. They do not have a spirit to manifest righteousness. Every single thing that they do, it's all about control. Control your resource, control your souls. Obama did make a speech about this. He talks about, and the souls of men. And guess what? He laughed. And all the people laughed with him. Like, really? Did you hear what Obama just said? He's talking about the souls of men and you guys laughed because the king laughed. This is, I'm telling you, sometimes it's even better not to talk about these things.
Oh, wow, that is something eye-opening.
I mean, like, it's crazy like how these people can say these things and then all the world just bow to it, because what? They have power. This is what power does. Power does these things. Power can make you start worshiping a piece of stone. Once the king gives the commandment to worship the piece of stone, everybody start to do it. And then the younger ones grow up and start follow. They don't know why they were doing it. It's just because somebody made a joke and the people took it serious and then they start doing it and make a festive about it. You see what I'm saying? This is the power of kings. This is what I keep telling the people that people don't understand. King James, the reason why King James is one of the worst Bibles is because King James, mute a little bit, I move away from the background TV or whatever. They don't understand what King James did to the Bible. King James took away the fact that all the kings were tyrants. Every single king in the ancient history were tyrants. They ruled the people with tyranny. But people love kings today. They're not called kings. They're called presidents, prime ministers, chancellors. People love them. Even the people who speak against Bible, they still love their kings. It's not like this. They're against the Bible and they're against the politics of the world and the kings of the world and the taxation. They're not against it. But they think they're free because they're not following the Bible. But you're following the kings, which is worse. You're following a tyrant. Somebody who feeds off your soul. You're following that person. You will even vote to select this person. This is the mindset that we're dealing with. Yeah, were you gonna say something, Empress, before I go on?
No, man, I was just listening. I'm in total agreement of what you're saying. It is unfortunate but true that we have essentially signed up or sold ourselves into a system that we are under their control. You know, it's not like we are free in the sense that we think we are. We are still supporting a system that is a tyrant over us. Because if everybody came together and said, okay, we are no longer going to be paying taxes, then, you know, eventually the system would fall. You know, if everybody, including those who are in their military, saw a benefit in uniting as a people, then, but as we see here, the military is still the arm of the government. So regardless of what is happening, even though they see that what they're doing may be wrong, they will still go out and act according to what their government wants them to do, even against their own personal interests.
Yes, exactly. And they are the word, sheep. People talk about sheep, but when they see sheep, they refer to people who follow the Bible. You see what I'm saying? So we who follow the Bible, they look at us as sheep, but who is the real sheep? Look at those people you sign up for the military, and then you're going out there knowing that you're gonna unalive your brothers and sisters in the name of a monthly salary. Like, how dumb is that? Like, you cannot be more stupid than that. You're telling me, I heard the 1st of January the soldiers unalive a 4-year-old baby. I don't know if you guys seen that on the news or something like that, but I'm just showing you how what you call it, inhumane, is that the word? To And these people are, it's justified. Like, I'm telling you, if it was a so-called, what you call a gunman, then a man with an illegal firearm does that, the world, everybody will look at, oh, these people are cruel and they have no heart. But because it's coming from the soldiers with the art, from the order of the king of Jamaica, which is from somebody ruling over them, which is the interest of the American empire, Egypt, it's not justified. So you can just put on a military suit, wear your Jamaican flag, and you can do anything and it's justified. That's the mindset of the people. And they can't see that. They really think these people are there to protect them. But I've been asking this question. Have you ever seen the Jamaican Defense Force going to war against any neighboring countries? Are they going to war against Trinidad to protect Jamaican citizens? Are they going to war against Cuba to protect? Who are they going to war against? I only see JDF unaliving Jamaican people. Somebody is requesting, why you guys keep getting cut off? Can you guys hear me clearly? I don't know if my internet is a problem or what.
Yeah, I can hear you clearly, but one time when I was trying to reconnect, it was trying to tell me that I don't have internet. Even though I was hearing you live, hearing everything you were saying, it told me I don't have any internet connection. I was able to everything else on the internet, but not to connect to your live.
I see Grace is telling me she keeps getting kicked out. And I thought this is we just talk about this, that my page right now, I'm gonna have to stop soon. I'm gonna stop using this because they're not allowing me to do anything. My page is not going out there. My videos are not going out. They're silencing me. TikTok has silenced me.
Well, see, it's doing me like that because, see, I have this app where I have to kind of record when I'm feeding the baby, when I'm changing her, stuff like that. And so when I go and I click it, it's like it's kicking me out because I'm going to another app. But normally it'll keep me in still because I can hear what you're saying. I'm just not up here anymore.
So I'm just gonna have to work with it until they allow me no more on the app. That's basically what I can say. You see, because if I was probably up here debating Yahweh and Paul, maybe I would have a lot more viewers, maybe a lot more people would be here for entertainment. But guess what? I am integrating things into reality. And that's the hardest thing to see. It's easier to go and sit and drink and smoke rather than to deal with integration. This is why most people cannot change. They might be ready, but they are not ready for transformation. You see what I'm saying? Yes, they want this, they want that, but are you ready to transform? I'm talking about personally, internally. People are not ready for this. So my page is going to always be a threat because I'm not here for entertainment purpose. Right. So let's go back to this verse 7. It says, the whole earth is at rest and is quiet. They break forth into singing. Imagine all the trees, the earth, everything start rejoice, the air, the ocean, everything start rejoice when this empire falls, right? It's just symbolic, but it's really dealing with the people. Like, imagine Egypt falls today. Everybody's gonna be at rest. The scepter of the wicked would be broken. Everybody is gonna be at rest. Even the trees that you guys cut for Christmas, what was it, that tree called? The evergreen tree, well, it's updated now where you just buy a fake tree. But back then they would cut the evergreen tree and make the Christmas thing decorated with the silver and the gold. It's going back to all of these things, but it's really dealing with the people are gonna be rejoicing. As the prophecy says, when the wicked rule, the people mourn. And when the righteous rule, the people are at peace. Something of that sort. It says, yea, the fir trees rejoice at thee, and the cedars of Lebanon, saying, since thou art laid down, no feller is come up against us. Feller are people who fell trees. All right, now, the chainsaw, the whatever tools they use to fell trees. So those are the fellers who fell those trees. So everything is going to rejoice now. The earth can breathe again. You see what I'm saying? When this empire falls, it says, it stirreth up the unalive for thee, even all the chief ones of the earth. It hath raised up from their thrones all the kings of the nations. All they shall speak and say unto thee, art thou also become weak as we? See, because what is going here? Let me read that again. Verse 9 says, hell from beneath is moved for thee to meet thee at thy coming. What is the hell from beneath thee? It says, it stirreth up the unalive for thee, even all the chief ones of the earth, because this man has dethroned many kings. Who remember Manuel? I'm not talking about the physical president today. I'm talking about the seat. When I speak, I don't speak against the physical people. I speak against the seat. So I'm talking about the seat in the White House. So it doesn't matter who sits on it. If it's even a baby, I'm talking about the seat. It says, who remember what happened with Manuel Noriega in Panama? A lot of people don't even know about these things. This man has dethroned so many kings, turned them to nothing. Who remember Gaddafi? Who remember all of these great men? Like the singer sung a song. Do you
All these great
remember
men.
Marcus Garvey? Do you remember? You see what I'm
Yes.
saying? This nation has dethroned so many kings. This goes back to the book of the Kings with Nebuchadnezzar and King the sons of Josiah, when they did not give the seat to the righteous ruler, the righteous son, the real son that should inherit the throne. What happened is they conquered them and they placed the one that is the least in the seat because he would be favoring the Nebuchadnezzar regime. You see what I'm saying? So it's the same thing. That's how you have divide and conquer. So it's like West Bank and Gaza. Israel is still profiting from the war, because when you have okay, let's use Jamaica. When you have half of Jamaica is in agreement with the prime minister, the other half would be considered as rebel. So it doesn't matter what's happening in the country, America is still profiting, whether from, today we call it crimes. You know what they call it back then in ancient Rome? They call it games. You guys watch Spartacus? These things that they do when
Yeah.
you analyze people for coins and so forth is the same thing, but if the money goes to the funeral homes, all of these things pertaining to the unalivement that profits from it. It's the same thing. They call it crimes today. It's called games. It's our people are being unalive. So whether we have what they call gunmen going out and do these things, the same head is profiting from it. So they don't care to solve or minimize what they call crime. It's games for them. Okay, what if the same crime rate should go up with tourism? What if these same men should go into hotels and these things and do the same things? You think they would just leave it like that? What if these men should go into the American embassy? You think it would just go and just go away like that? Oh, it's crime. Crime rate in Jamaica has been whatever. They've entered into the US embassy and really? Really? It's our people that are being unalive, and they call it games, and they call it crimes. It's games for them. That's how they play us with words. I'm telling you, English language is the biggest religion on the face of this earth. You know, let me continue. So verse 10 says, and they shall speak and say unto thee, art thou also become weak as us, so weak as we? So I need some people who are alive. Some nations that America weakened them. Syria. Syria is now crying out, hey, America, you become weak as us? Really? You see, all of these countries that they weaken their empires, they weaken their nations, they become in the same state. You're weak.
Already in the Bible.
Yes, so like I said, is the problem with people who are using the Bible, they are not trying to integrate scriptures into reality. Like they might teach this scripture, this chapter, they're teaching about Nebuchadnezzar back in ancient Babylon. But if this is only ancient Babylon, then this scripture means nothing today. So we don't need to read this unless we're talking about history. If you can't show me what the scripture is saying today and integrate it physically into my life, then the Bible is of no use to me. You see what I'm saying? People want to teach the Bible as if it's only history. Then if it's only history, what the hell I can go on something and just see what happens then? If it cannot change anything, if it cannot transform me or give me knowledge to transform me internally, to change my outlook on life, to change my outlook on belief systems and so forth, if it's not helping me in that, what is the purpose of the Bible? I don't need a Bible then. And this is why I can understand when people speak against the Bible. Because the only thing they see is that, oh, somebody is just reading the same shit over and over and over. They're not seeing it today. So without integration, nothing makes sense. Everything has to be integrated. So where am I? Verse 10. Let me read it again. And they shall speak and say unto thee, art thou also become weak as we? Art thou become like unto us? You mean say, really, your cost of living, the people them in a bankruptcy, them start protest now. The people them start sleep on the streets like our people. The people them they have to go in a shelter and welfare just like our nations as well. You mean that you see what I'm saying? That's basically what it's saying. So what, like I said, what's gonna happen after 2 years of running on Venezuelan oil for free? What's gonna happen? Nobody else is going to trust you. So people are going to start going to Russia now because they're going to, who is going to protect you from America?
Grace is kicked out again, so she needs another invite.
Oh, okay, all right. Yeah, it's because I'm not really looking at the screen, because sometimes I'm talking, I'm just going on and on and on. I talk a lot, so when I'm into this mood, I just chat. So that's why sometimes you guys have to come in and say something. Otherwise, I'll just keep chatting. You see? Yeah. So this is basically what I'm saying. All of their allies, because remember, this nation always, it doesn't matter what agreement they came up with, they always break their treaties. From back in the days with what they call the American Indians and these people, every treaty that they made, they are the ones that broke it. They never they're never trustworthy when it comes down to treaties. So what's going to happen now? The same betrayal they betrayed everyone else with is the same thing they're going to be betrayed with in the end. And that is going to bring the country to what you call that thing? Civil, what you call the thing when, we talked about this before. When
Civil unrest.
Yeah, that type of situation where that internal war is going on, where people, uproar and everything. That's that thing, civil unrest. That's going to happen. And when that's happening, Egypt cannot deal with that and deal with a war against superpowers at the same time. I talk about this again in the Operation Popeye video. I was talking about ancient Rome. Ancient Rome couldn't deal with that while Hannibal was making his way through the Alps and their territory. It's not easy to win a war on your territory, so it's easy to go over in Niger and conquer Syria and these places, but America has never fought a war on their own soil. And this is why this war is gonna destroy all the delusions and illusions. And everybody will have to see reality for what it is, because people in the West do not know war. Let me tell you something. In Germany, for example, If there's a little puddle of water, you know what they do? These people get a backhoe and they dig it out bigger so that there's more water. And then you know what they do? They put fish in it. These people understand survival. So guess what happens? You can go out fishing for sport. You can catch the fish, but you have to throw it back. But they understand that in the time of war, these fish are going to be there. People in the West, we don't know war. How many people are storing seeds, grains? Grains are things you can store for years. Who is making their bunkers to bury their own grains? Because when nobody's doing that, everybody's waiting on the next merchant ship to come in. You see what I'm saying? You were gonna say something, Empress.
No, as interesting. You mentioned merchant ships this morning. I was talking about that with my sister. I was saying that the merchant ships, the Bible talks about it too, about the closing off of the port. So, when things have stopped coming in, when we're not getting imported goods and services and all of these things, when the system truly collapses, the people who are not prepared to support themselves using the resources at hand or not able to do so, those are the ones that are going to suffer the most. And that is so unfortunate because we have become so complacent and so used to the comforts of life that COVID proved it to me. COVID proved it to me when I actually saw people panicking, not being able to survive because places were locked down. I was like, what? And literally food upon the tree them. Like what was it Porter J sing about that? Literally food upon tree. You understand me? They didn't know how to take care of themselves. So it's unfortunate but true. I think he got cut off.
No, man. No, I think that's exactly, and this is the thing too. With the social media, everything is kind of wrapped around the American thing. So when you go on the YouTube videos and you see things about provider, how they define a provider, listen, most of these people they make contents and get paid from contents, and because they're making a certain amount of money, they really see themselves as providers. Listen, provider is physical, all right? So what happens now? Look at the 2008 recession. A lot of men were providers. They could maintain the home with the money. But after the recession, what happens? A lot of them went broke. A lot of them have to dissolve their marriages and so forth. You see what I'm saying? So when it comes down to provider today, the question is, if you wake up tomorrow and you find out that your bank card cannot buy you a loaf of bread, or you find out that your salary cannot buy you a bottle of water, how are you going to make sure that your family eats?
Interesting you say that. The price of bread has been going up for a good while now in Jamaica. In my side of the world, you can get one of the national bread for probably $550, $600. And because of that, my mother has decided, you know what, we're gonna bake our own bread. Why not? Because we're out cheaper. And I want to tell you, last night we baked a bread, and the bread tastes nicer than the bread where you buy out a road. You understand me? That never take more than like 2.5 pounds of flour, some salt, some sugar, and some yeast. You understand me? And I'm telling you, the bread tastes nice and it's fluffy and it's soft and it all these things. So when bread price go up and all of these things and the people them out there say, me no bread, me no know what to do. You have flour, yeah. They have salt. You understand me? I say you have sugar, you can do a little thing. It is so much less expensive to bake your own loaf of bread. And I've been doing things like that. We've been baking our own bread, doing things like that, instead of going out there and buying it all the time. And as simple as that sounds, you save $600 every single time.
Right, and this goes back to the health part of things too, which I don't want to go too deep into this part, but I'm just gonna say we need to get out of the American standard of foods, because you see, like you mentioned about the yeast, right? When you think about it, bread, back in the days, bread is something that you'll give somebody to go on their journey. So if I'm going to St. Thomas right now to link Romaine, guess what? I'd be traveling with some pieces of bread, some loaves of bread. So the bread back then were something hard and solid. Like when you go to the supermarkets in Germany, these are things that, listen, this American standard of bread, I don't know what the hell that is. Soft, and what the hell is that? You see, no, what I want to get into is the yeast part of it, because people don't understand that these foods that it is approved by American standard, the FDA. All these things are full of what do you call that thing? Um, the thing that blocks the vitamin D from your body. What's that mineral? What's that thing called, Judith? What's that thing called? That American aluminum and so what's the word you call it? The aluminum and those things that they put in the things to block the vitamin D, block your system from using the vitamin D. Um,
BPA thing, something.
no, what's the word? It's in the baby food, man. It's like in the Gerber's baby food.
Metals.
Metals, yeah, the heavy metals, yeah, the metals. I couldn't remember the word. Thanks, Judith. Yes, all of these things that we need to get out of the American standard because our breads are not supposed to be so soft. You see what I'm saying? Think about it. Those soft breads that we bake. Can I go on my journey to link Romaine to do some hard work in the soil with these soft breads? So
Oh,
people
the
don't
bread, the
understand.
soft bread can't go nowhere if you're doing it for that. But you can
Right.
still get the
So
soft bread without the yeast.
no,
Yeah, man. That's how we
right,
do.
right. So this is what I'm saying. Say because most of our things feed from American standard of things, so we even need to get out of that because people don't understand that the metals that they're using is really blocking us from the using the vitamin D. This is why you can be out in the sun every day and you still become like a lunatic. You see what I'm saying? At the full moon, you're still going crazy, going into depression, everything. We lack this vitamin D. And even if you're eating foods that give you it, what happens is because of all of the metals. The metals is preventing the system. So it's important for us to even understand on a deeper level that the body is relating to the earth as well, the minerals of the earth. So we can be consuming the right products, but there's something that's preventing our bodies from black absorption then. Yeah, that's exactly. So that's what the metals are doing to us, but yes, that's a good point that you talk about baking your own breads and so forth, right? So I'm saying the provider is, can we physically provide with our hands? So if a man has money, if your money can't do something for you tomorrow, how are your family gonna feed? How are you gonna prepare a plate of food tomorrow for your children? You see what I'm saying? So this American concept, even this, you see people talking about 50-50. We in Jamaica, we don't know about 50-50 until it was when I started seeing these things on YouTube with the American people. We know there's a whole thing about 50-50. Do you guys know about that 50-50 concept? We don't grow up that way. We don't know anything
No,
about that.
no.
But they poisoned, they poisoned the internet. They poisoned the countries with this concept of social of 50-50. We don't know about 50-50 in a household thing. This is
You
an
know,
American philosophy. Yeah, go ahead, Romain.
no, I was saying is that every ideology that America comes out with, we in the Western world, we adapt to it otherwise, and we left out our own traditional ways to how we operate.
Right. So
I think on the sorry to cut you, but I think on
no,
the
go ahead,
creator
go ahead.
on the issue of so-called 50-50, it's not that we weren't a culture that understood the balance of power or even accepted that there must be a balance of power within relationships, but it was not so transactional. You know what I mean? It was not so transactional. We understood
Yes,
that the man of the house does certain things, the woman of the house does certain things. It was not necessarily a case of, oh, I am better than you or I'm worth less than you because this is my duty here in the house or whatever the case. It was just naturally understood. This is the role that you played, and it was not a case where you'd have been looked down, on because that's the role you play, as the mother, as the matriarch, or as whatever in the household. When it came now to cultural differences now, where it became more an independence movement, so to speak, for women, especially in America, then now it became more transactional. Oh, well, your husband, if in Jamaica now, if your man not get X amount of money and don't love you, and if you're not doing this and do, you understand me? That's when it became more transactional.
Right, so this is why I say we have to get out of the American philosophies because that's a whole religion in itself. You see what I'm saying? This is what I said, they sow discord between people. You can have a good relationship with your husband or with your wife, and then you start to get these philosophies in your head. No, you start to rewrite the stories of your marriage. Your perception of your marriage changes. You see what I'm saying? So, okay, he used to say, don't wear this because it's too revealing or because it can cause this. No, you used to see it as, oh, wow, this man wants to protect me. No, with American philosophies, oh, he's controlling you. You have no freedom to wear whatever you want. You see what I'm saying? So it's just crazy, but we're not really getting into this whole thing. We want to stay on what we were talking about, you know. So I'm gonna go back to Isaiah and finish this. Verse 11, sorry. It says, thy pomp is talking about the pride of the nation. Thy pomp is brought down to the grave, and the noise of thy vials. The worm is spread under thee, and the worms cover thee. So let me tell you something about this nation. It goes back to what I said, like within the 50 Cent movie, how the man unalive his father, abuse his mother, and then grow him into the man he is, right? And he loved him. It's like Stockholm Syndrome, similar type of thing. You see? So the worms under the feet is, guess what? You see all those people they bombed in the Middle East? And those very same descendants are in their country working in the political offices and so forth. Those people are going to be the worm under feet. You watch the movie Salt? In the movie Salt with Angelina Jolie, you realize that in the British thing, a lot of Russians were there working, waiting on that moment to happen.
The
These
sleeper cells, them they call them.
sleeper cells, yes, it's the same thing. This is what the Bible calls worm. These people are in there waiting on that moment. You guys watch even this, the London Has Fallen, all of these movies. These people were already in the country waiting, just like what America did to us. CIA already came into the country, and they were just waiting on the moment, so they start to plant their seeds in the minds of people until the actual moment occur. Everything is already organized. It's just like Venezuela. They went out there with their carrier, the U.S. carrier, and all of these things. They went with the men in the copter that were in the land, tracking the positions of Maduro. You see what I'm saying? So they're there already. They're inside. They're already waiting on the opportunity, just like a lot of us who are here. We're just waiting on this thing to collapse. We're sitting down with our foods and our heavy artilleries, and we're waiting on the collapse to come. So when we see people trying to cross a certain line, we're not asking questions. In the time of judgment, listen, in the time of judgment, you don't bring more morality to the game. It's called judgment for a reason. So a lot of these men who are sitting out there on their straps, use it wisely. You have your straps already. You're at an advantage. Now go and plant food. Go and start your own empire. If it's even a group of you guys, secure foods. You're going to need it. Save your, I don't want to say these words, but you're going to need those things. Those little things. You're going to need them for when the time comes.
Yeah.
When
We
it's
know
time,
what you're talking
yeah,
about,
go
man.
ahead.
We know what you're talking about.
Yeah. Me know TikTok stay, man. Me know I say the words and then they go kick me off because they ain't good for that, you know. But yeah, know at the times which part the men them already have them straps. Them need to just add wisdom to it and use it for the right purposes. You understand? You know, use it. Cause let me tell you something. One thing with John like. John have a problem with bloodshed. I remember use it the other way. The earth does not have a problem with bloodshed. It has a problem with the shedding of innocent blood. You see the difference?
Yeah, man. That's quoted in a Genesis. He say to Cain and Abel.
Right. So Abel was innocent. So nothing is wrong with rendering justice because they make it. Them why if you think say you have to wear JDF suit and JCF suit for render justice. Not no go so. You understand? You just need to make sure that it's not an innocent blood you're shedding. So when the time comes to protect and defend home, cause them want listen. You don't understand, the people don't understand democracy. You know what democracy do is disarm people.
Yeah,
So it make you
just like
think
the
that
movie The
oh,
Purge, as you say for true.
huh?
It's just like the movie, as I named The Purge. It's just something like that I go come. Yeah, man.
Right. So what I'm saying is I'm speaking to the men out there who sit down on them straps and all of these heavy artillery, whatever. Start to think strategically how you can protect and defend home. Because that is what is going to be necessary. You understand? And when a time if you go out there, if you go hunt supplies, you guys gonna have to do that as well. So sometimes you have to just go hunt and go back in. You understand? The time is coming. So no time to play like an idiot and go on like yeah, this and that and no, a different time we just need the wisdom now. You have the tools, the resources, and certain things. You just need the wisdom now to balance yourself. And then the earth can fight for you because the earth fights for the just. You understand? People, they want to induce a certain thing, belief system in a way to make it think, say, oh, sit down and wait, and JCF and JDF 119 don't protect you. Oh, really? Really? You see what I'm saying? So, we just have to have the wisdom, as me say, and protect our own. So, let me continue with this. Verse 12 says, how art thou fallen from heaven, O Lucifer, son of the morning? How art thou cut down to the ground, which didst weaken the nation? So hold on there. That the great empire there, we tear down Libya, we tear down Venezuela, we tear down Panama, we tear down Jamaica, we tear down all of you so great. How comes you fall? That's impossible. You have military bases in all of these countries, over 100 odd countries. You have your policies that rule over all of these people, and you fall. No, me can't understand how Venezuela fall or Libya fall, but you, such a big empire, this is what the scripture is saying. How? In Lucifer, you, I feel like they rule the earth. Every morning when people wake up, what them want to say? What Pharaoh has to say. You know Pharaoh is who today, right? You guys know who I'm talking about, right? Because remember, this empire is Egypt. And we not Pharaoh back then was the Ramses. So we not call Pharaoh by his name. Ramses was a city. We not call the Pharaoh by the name. We just don't refer to the person as Pharaoh. So Pharaoh, the one sitting on the throne today, everybody want to hear what he have to say. Talk the truth. When you wake up and your news come up on your phone, you don't care what the president of give me a country, Zimbabwe have to say. Really? You don't care about what the president of Antigua have to say. You care about what Pharaoh have to say. He is the light of this world. Pharaoh is the light. You want to hear what him have to say.
Honestly, true, Andrew. Yeah, man.
So he is the morning star. Pharaoh is that morning star. Pharaoh is the one who rule. Let me read it again. Verse 6 say, he who smote the people in wrath. Pharaoh is the one who smote the people in wrath. Once he get angry, grace get kick off. Once he get angry, he just take out the anger upon you like a narcissist. You know when a narcissist broke and he not the money if you take out in girl upon the date or if you buy one expensive New Year's gift or give her the hairstyle there, he start thump her up and beat her up. That's this nation. They don't have the oil to keep the economy they run. So they have to take out upon Venezuela. They don't have the uranium.
She's back.
She's back? No, because when she come off of the something there, each time she come off of the app, it'll kick her off of the panel.
Yeah, she's back.
Yeah. If she just in the regular comment section, it's different. But when she on the panel, once she exit the app, it'll kick her off of the panel. Yeah, but you guys, I'm comparing this nation to a narcissistic man because this nation, this kingdom, this empire is a narcissist. And the traits are the same. So if you can't understand the empire, if you can't see the empire for what it is, you will have to see a narcissist for what it is. So you got to understand one of them. So anybody who know about a narcissistic man, once he can get to do what he want to do for you, he might go thump you up and kick you down and box you up. Because
including
yeah, go ahead.
Including manipulate you while he might thump you in your eye. I tell you, him never just thump you in your eye. You did not just see me thump you in your eye. You're lying. You're delusional. You understand me?
Right.
So that's not. It's toxic.
The part the way you just say now is the narratives that they use to justify their act, so their act can seem like morality. You see what I'm saying? So it's just like when they're going in a Nigeria, in the place there, them can say, oh, the people are doing this against Christian and we're going to render justice. So no longer you can see what they're doing for what it is. It's about the narrative. A narrative can rewrite morality.
Yeah, man. It's about the narrative with that one, Andrew. Sorry to cut you.
No, it's good. Go ahead.
Yeah, man. We never get really much information regarding why this nation do that to Nigeria. which as stated by the narrative to get rid of Muslim against Christianity, but me no understand what was the main objective for that.
Oh, you missed the first part of the life. Then we already talk about that. It's
It's
not.
metals, the resources of that nation is what they
Yeah, you missed
want,
the
but they
first
have
part.
to
But more post the
pretend.
live.
Yeah,
No
man.
post the live
That's
on
no one.
YouTube
Well, it
still.
was
So if
supposed
you
to
want to watch it, but
Africa have the main resources them still, but me never guess it was that. But all right, thanks.
yeah, man, it's the uranium from Niger. Remember, they want the oil to maintain the banking system and the economy, the empire, right? So now that they have the oil for run one next 2 years, they're gonna need uranium to produce more for do more productivity in our military things. You understand?
So why they didn't get it from 80 then? Since
80
it
not
was
have uranium.
45.
Listen. 80 does not have you. Niger have the just like how Venezuela have the greater what I call oil reserve. Niger is the #1 in a uranium.
Makes sense.
You get the point now?
Well, Well,
Go ahead.
that's interesting, but I'm kind of interested as to why you'd ask why not go to Haiti, because that kind of weird. But I understand why I'm saying so, but still weird segue. But
Okay.
what I said is that these people are an invasive species. You notice how an invasive species act in any part of the kingdom, animal kingdom, plant kingdom, whatever. It completely takes over. It's like a cancer, right? So you mentioned that they have bases in many countries and blah blah. It's like going around planting seeds in many gardens, just to disrupt the cultivation. So it's a long-term plan that is just now you're now seeing some of the fruits of it.
You continue. So I was at 12. It say, how art thou fallen from heaven, O Lucifer, son of the man? I don't know if I even deal with the Lucifer part here because people go crazy. Hey, let me tell you something. You see, when somebody inject a certain idea in your head, and that's the only idea, it's hard to even see outside of that idea. Because when you look at this, hey, go to youth Google and type in this passage in the Latin version, and you're gonna see the word Lucifer is there. It's a Latin word. So imagine Lucifer means the morning star, right? Which was translated from a Hebrew. So Lucifer here is the morning star. How people get this to refer to Satan? You see what I'm saying? Like somebody teach you say Isaiah 14, Lucifer is about Satan, is about a spiritual demon. But let's continue because I'm just going to show you how crazy the minds of people are, how easily programmed. Because look, all right, let me start back again. Verse 2 says oppressors, right? I'm going to point out the words. Verse 4 says king of Babylon. See? Verse 5 says wicked. All of these verses are talking about the king Nebuchadnezzar. Now, all of a sudden, when it reaches down to verse 12, it says, how art thou fallen from heaven, O Lucifer? So it changed completely from Nebuchadnezzar to now a spiritual demon. You see how crazy this whole thing is? Just because the King James are the worst version of Bible. It's the worst Bible ever. Why?
At the
Yeah, go ahead,
translation,
Roman.
Andrew, you have to give
Huh?
them a little doubt on it. Not even doubt, give them a little blind, me that say. At the translation, because that
It's intentional.
itself,
No, that's intentional. That's what I was just gonna say. It's not a mistake. This was a systematic, intentional crafting or recrafting and restructuring of the scripture. This was not an accidental mistranslation or lost in translation situation. No. This was an actual long-term plan that was set into place, and hence why people can debate it for so long up to today.
up to
Let
today.
me hear what you have finish talk about what you say, Roman. Let me get your full concept.
Yeah, man. Me that say no, even to this point, even Hebrew themselves is actually referring to it as the spiritual devil himself in this context, I too.
So okay, all right. Then if let's say for example, because as I said, this was not originally written in Latin. This was translated from the Latin Vulgate, but it was originally in Hebrew. But let's talk about what you talk about with the Hebrews, right? Then if this is talking about a spiritual demon, what do we do with verse 16? Let me just jump down to verse. Let me read verse 12 and jump to. Hold on, let me read verse 12 and then I'm going to jump to verse 16 and then we talk about then what do we do, because if the Bible is not realistic to me, it don't make no sense. And only things that can be integrated into reality me accept. You see what I'm saying? So if let's say, how art thou fallen from heaven, O Lucifer? Say this is talking about a spiritual demon. That's the context here. Let's go down to verse 16. It says, they that see thee, Lucifer, right? Spiritual demon, shall narrowly look upon thee, look upon the spiritual demon, and consider thee, saying, is this the man? Is this the man? Man. M-A-N, man.
Yeah, man.
It never says, is this the spiritual? Hold on, hold on. It never says, is this the spiritual entity? So if verse 12 is talking about a spiritual demon, what do we do with verse 16?
Conflict, yeah, man. In a aligning context.
Yes, that's it. It would not align in context, but this is just a symptom of when certain aspects of the church decides to put their own meaning over the words that they see in order to fit their own narrative, and that is the danger in interpreting the words that way.
Link says the fact is they went in and get the scrolls without knowing fully what it was about. I wouldn't say they don't know what it's about, because based on, listen, I cannot say they don't know what it's about, because when you look at the things that they intentionally change, it means that they had to understand the effect and the impact that it was going to create for a period of time to intentionally corrupt those things. They changed the concept of, even though the Bible did say they don't change the concept of time in Daniel chapter. Listen, for these people to change certain things, they have to know what the intent was. They have to know, in order for you to corrupt something, you have to know the truth of it. And this is why you see, it comes back to where they didn't even have to change the Bible, because throughout slavery, they already reprogrammed our minds. It says that, Deuteronomy 28, it says, they would not take the yoke of iron off our necks until we are destroyed, spiritually, mentally, emotionally, physically. We are destroyed. So they don't even have to change the Bible anymore. Because Leviticus 19 verse 27, for example, says, do not mar the corners of your beard. But when you look at these Hebrews, I'm not even going to Christians and nobody else. When you look at the Hebrews, even though they grow the long beard, they still line up, what you call it, line up, Romain, they still line up the beard. So hold on. Okay, let me read it. Let me go to Leviticus. Huh? What is that, Romain?
Line up our mar.
Right, when you go a barber and you line up and look fresh, right?
Yeah, man.
So, let me show you something. Leviticus.
Yeah, but Andrew, we still need to go into that because it's still there, you know. But anyway, we talk about that another time still.
Yeah, so let me just show you.
Still, but
Yeah.
go on.
Yeah, no, I'm just showing you that the point to the point where we are destroyed today, they don't even need to change the Bible. Even if they should find the original Hebrew scrolls that Moses wrote, it's still not going to be enough to affect the minds of the people, because the people have been already psychologically destroyed. So words no mean what I mean. This is why English language carry a cognitive dissonance. You get what I try to say? Me can't do something and me can't just change the narrative and push morality out of the way. So what me they do nothing feel wrong to me. Just like me say, when they narrate the story, look at how many people they unalive in Tivoli. You get what I'm saying? Nobody no really have a problem with it. But if I want some gunman going to Tivoli or going to our next place and unalive the same amount of people, you would hear how wicked these men are. Just a change of narrative alone. You see how easy the mind can reprogram? It's just like a person when they come out of a marriage. You understand? Everything we used to carry meaning for you, all you have to do is just rewrite the story of your marriage. So when the man was protecting you from not wearing that on the street, guess what? He was controlling you. You rewrite the story. You see what I'm saying? So everything that you're going to do now, it's justified by these stories. So you don't need to feel the guilt of what you're doing. Don't need to feel morally condemned by you changing narratives. By, Adam and Eve, they said, so you saw fig leaves. Because if me can say, oh, is the man that you give me, Lord? Is the woman that you give me, Lord? Is because American teach this, Lord. This is why me not keep the Sabbath. Because them teach we say Saturday. Once you're doing that, you're not going to feel guilty until you remove the fig leaves. This is a control of perception. They control the perception. Listen, whoever feeds you knowledge controls your perception, and whoever controls your perception controls your reality. Because if me can tell you, say, Saturday is the day that you worship your God, and you start doing it, me control your reality. Me control your worship. Me control your alignment with the earth. If me can tell you, say, okay, work graveyard shift. Every night I go work from 11 to 7. Guess what? Me start disrupt your internal, what you call it, circadian rhythm. Me control you.
Yeah, man,
No,
and
your
easy to read.
neurochemical. Huh?
And
Huh?
easy to read also.
Links asked a question I think we've covered before, but he says, I don't know, he says, have you thought of the beast? Do you think it's a single person or a system? It is a system.
Yeah, it can't be a single person. The beast, remember, no beast. When you look at beast, you're really talking about a nation that does not have the laws of the Most High, which we talked about earlier when we're saying these nations cannot emulate King Solomon. They cannot emulate King David. You see the righteousness that Solomon ruled the other nations with, they cannot. Read Second Esdras. I think it was chapter 13 where he was talking to Uriel, and Uriel gave him a parable saying, imagine the land. The land is making war with the sea. You understand? And the trees is doing that. He said, no, but then the fire come and burn up the trees. So all of this is vanity. This is the same thing is about colonization. That parable was about colonization. Because you're going to come in and take this amount of resource right there. So, and then this don't come, one earthquake come and sink off right there. You understand? This is what Uriel was trying to show him. It's all a parable. So, the beast is a nation of people. This is why I said, whether you call it British Caucasian, Spanish Caucasian, Romania Caucasian, Portugal Caucasian, all of these are the same beast. It's a system. Remember, you don't have a physical king anymore. King Leopold II, William, whatever his name was, that was the ending of kings. Is a whole imperialism thing right now. It's not a physical man, but it's a nation. Exactly. But then again, what is its number? Its number is 666. Right. Its number is 666. So we can identify them just like you can identify one lion when you see one, because you know, say, okay, it do this and it do that. Right? Matter of fact, let me just use a proper animal that the Bible uses. In the Bible, it talks about dragon. Dragon is a beast. Right? We can believe that it's a myth or whatever, but we have some concepts of what a dragon is. Now, what do you know about a dragon? Two main things about a dragon is, now let's go deeper. We're the 6 protons, 6 neutrons, and 6 electrons family. Links, you want to come up and verbalize your thought? Let me just finish Isaiah 14 and then we can get into that, because, we like keep it in that thing. But when we say about the dragon still, let me go back to Isaiah 14. A dragon, what it does is, from what we see in cartoons and sci-fi movies, they fly overhead and they rain fire down on the people. Right? Who remember Hiroshima and Nagasaki? What did the dragon do? They fly over Hiroshima, they flew over Nagasaki, and they drop atomic bombs. That's a dragon. Fly over your heads and rain bomb on the people. So, if it's not integrated in reality, the Bible is not going to make sense. You see what I'm saying? So today it's drones and all of these things. They can stay out in the ocean now and rain fire down on you. It's still the same concept. You see what I'm saying? But it has to be realistic. And I have a problem when people do not integrate the scriptures into reality. That's my problem with the followers of the Bible today. No integration. The Bible is foolishness. Let me just read back verse 13 and just finish the chapter, and then we can get into any question in or see what Links is saying. You can, says, no, I'm working. I'm just trying to tell you these people that wrote the Bible are lunatics. Oh, these people that
I've
wrote
heard
the
this
Bible.
I've heard this metaphysical point of view before, where the 6 protons,
Listen,
neutrons, electrons, blah blah blah.
okay, so
Heard that
listen,
before.
let me tell you. Metaphysics, Gnosticism, Stoicism, all of these are madness. This is just the new religions they are creating to downplay the Bible or the reality. Let me say reality, because when we talk about God, most people just can talk about abstract. I'm not talking about abstract things. I'm talking about reality. So God is reality. Listen,
True.
you cannot use metaphysics or Gnosticism to listen. Gnosticism, what they're trying to do is they're trying to turn, Yahweh, the one that spoke to Moses, right? They're trying to turn him in this demiurge that corrupted the mankind. And listen, stop that BS. You see what I'm saying? Stop that BS. We've been through metaphysics. We've been through Gnosticism. We've been through all of these things that you can think about. So of course, we integrate things into things, of course. But we don't defy or deny the existence thereof. We don't do that. You see what I'm saying? But this is the minds of these people. Oh, everything is going into a new age thing. It's energy, and people don't deal with spirits anymore. It's energy and this. I can feel the energy. Cut the crap. Don't come over here with that. You see what I'm saying? Talk to me about reality. What is the energy? Tell me something about the energy. Tell me about the manifestation of this energy. What does it do? What does it contain? What does it manifest into that I can relate to? Don't come to me about spiritual. Oh, it's spiritual. You can't understand it. Everything that is spiritual has to take on a form of manifestation. Then, if it does not have a form of manifestation, what is the difference between spiritual things and conceptualized things? Concept stays in your mind. They don't carry manifestation. Spiritual things, even if it's in your mind, it carries a manifestation. So guess what? If a person is sick and you have a dream last night, and that person have a dream last night that somebody gave them a certain herbs to eat, this morning they wake up, they're healed. The healing in the body is going to let you know that something spiritual took place. So spirituality has to take on manifestation. Don't come over here with that madness. I've been down the roads of all these things. I was an atheist. So what you guys are coming with, this madness, don't come over here with that. Find a different, please, listen, find a different platform for that. You can't talk to me about atheism. I've been down that road.
Yeah,
I used to make jokes,
I was listening.
especially Adventists. I used to make a lot of jokes about them because they thought they were walking in God's pocket, as people would say. You see what I'm saying? So listen, you don't come over here with all of that madness. Make sure that you are well studied into whatever you're coming with. Energies, numerologies, all of it. Come on. This is the wrong platform for that type of thing, all right? Don't go down that road with me. But it's manipulation, and they turn something good into something bad. Let me see. My opinion is the ancients were trying to tell us that we are energy. We are energy. Brother, everything in the physical existence is energy, as you call it in your words. Every single thing, even inanimate objects. So this is why something that is unalive, there's still activity going on. For example, iron, inanimate object, it still rusts after a period of time. There is still activity. The body, even though a person is unalive, the body in the grave, there's still activity. It's rotting. It still rots. That's energy. That's activity. Listen, words, you don't manipulate words and come over here. It does not work. This is the wrong platform to try that stunt with. You see what I'm saying? So we can see where the part of the Venn diagram that we overlap, and we can connect with that part, but don't come with the other madness. You see what I'm saying? I've been through all these books that you're reading, Nag Hammadi text, the gospel of this one. Listen.
Can I tell you the rabbit hole that most of us that are here have had to go down all of those rabbit holes before. You know, the thing is, I started with the Bible. I went down many a rabbit hole and I came right back to the Bible. You understand me? And so it is interesting when you meet people that are on their journey and they are at a point in their journey that you have already overcome. Because once I saw the line of discussion, I thought, okay, yeah, I know where this is gonna go.
Yeah, so I don't want him to think that I'm against what he's talking about, protons and neutrons and electrons. And of course, because even us, our own existence, right? Because we are made up of three things. There's the body, there's the spirit, and there's the neutrality, right? So there's a neutral component in us, which is the spirit of God. So there's the spirit of man, which is the spirit. There's the spirit of God that binds the spirit of man and the physical body together. You see what I'm saying? So yes, we understand this is why man have the capability to sin. We have the capability to go against our own nature. You're not gonna see a dog be like, oh wow, cheesecake. No, dog is neutral. They don't go against the nature. If the dog belly is full, if the lion belly is full, he's not gonna go running after a rabbit. They don't go against their nature. Humans have the ability to do it. This is why angels do not sin. This is why spirits do not sin. For example, when a person is unalive and a witch or a warlock takes their spirit to possess somebody else, there's no condemnation for the spirit because the spirits do not have free will. They cannot rebel against the witchcraft. Humans have willpower, so we can rebel. We can rebel against God, we can rebel against nature, we can rebel against our morality, we can rebel against our principles, we can rebel against everything because we have a mind. This is why we deal with psycho-spirituality. We deal with the elements. Saturn, Mercury, Mars, all of these things, the constellation, the tree of life, the tree of good and evil. Because they affect our soul, they affect us in the mental faculty. Urges in the body. This is why people cannot control. Oh, I'm a Christian, I'm a Hebrew, I'm a Jew, I believe in this. You cannot stop yourself from committing adultery because guess what? Your desires are not subject to your morality or your God or whatever hell you want to believe in. You see what I'm saying? So we don't leave out the elements. So of course we know about all of these things. We know about numerology, get into all of that. We can do it. You see what I'm saying? Don't go down that road, bro. It says, but at the time they have no clue what our ancestors were speaking about. It's manipulation and they turn something good into something bad. They have to be manifestations physically. Hail bro, you are very knowledgeable, cosmic royalty. Oh Dane, what go on Dane? Bless up yourself, man. Bless up, bless up. Yahushua is king. Family, we are not arguing. It's all forms of energy. It cannot be destroyed. It changes form. No, forms change, but it is what it is. The spirit always remains. Just like, for example, clean water, pure water. You cannot contaminate pure water. Contaminations can be added to it. This is why when you add heat, when you put it under hot water, it removes the contaminants. But that which is pure remains. It's just like putting gold in the fire. Yes, you can turn it into a watch, you can turn it into a necklace, you can turn it into a bracelet, anklet, whatever. But guess what remains? The gold remains. It cannot be changed. So listen. Family, we are not organized farm. So then what farm will your energy take when you expire? So yes, as long as you understand me, because I understand you, but I'm just letting you know that I've been down the road. I was an atheist. Listen, I just started learning Christianity. Just so you know. I just started learning that a few years ago. See, Romain is here. He was the one that taught me the fundamentals of the Adventists and I don't know anything about Christianity. I'm new to it. So I'm learning their things. But I know a lot about all of these other things before. That's where I'm coming from. So if you want to talk numerology, if you want to talk about the elements, of course I'm ready for that conversation because I'm into psycho-spirituality. Yeah, you gonna say something on me?
Oh, no, man. It's a helicopter just passed.
Oh, mine a damn boy that they coming on. Anyway, let me go back to my reading now, man, because we get sidetracked a while ago, you know.
All right.
Because this is not one of the regular TikTok page where them talk, debate about Paul and Yahawashai, who dead for sin or who not do what, you understand? Yeah, verse 13. For thou hast said in thine heart, I will ascend into heaven, I will exalt my throne. Oh, say this in a Pharaoh term. What Pharaoh said 2016 when he just come in.
Yeah, this was
Yeah?
also the concept to prove that it was also the spiritual demon. This verse that I just read as well.
Yeah, man. So what I'm doing now is we are integrating this into physical reality. So all who want to deal with spiritual things, they have to go to a more spiritual page. My page is very carnal. See? For me page, my page is very
He will
carnal.
ascend into heaven and whatever.
So,
This man want expand him territories. See? So him
right,
see
so hold on.
that land over
Stay right
there.
there, sir. Stay right there, sir, Empress. He want to expand in territories. So me I try to bring back the mind to a physicality because remember me is very carnal. You remember 2016 when that president was gonna come in and he's wearing a red hat with a writing on it. What the writing on the hat say? MAGA. What did it say? The MAGA hat.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Who remember? Hold
Make
on.
a
Grace. You remember the meaning of it? Huh?
yes.
Great again.
Romain, where's so far? Where's so far, Romain?
To make America great again, man.
Exactly.
Yeah,
So when
man.
you say, I will ascend into the heaven, yes, I will make America great again. That's the
Mm-hmm.
same meaning. So as you said, no Empress, you give some examples. Just say expand territories. You
Yes,
understand?
man.
You want to
Remember
make
the
this empire
rhetoric,
great.
The rhetoric is they have stolen our lands, we are reclaiming it. That is the exact words that came out of his mouth. We are reclaiming our lands that they took from us. So yeah.
Exactly. So you see, so until people can integrate the scripture into physical reality. So what you say, Romain? They said the Hebrews, them said this is the reason why it is spiritual. What you say? You look at Romain, the cooking Sunday dinner, you know. Anyway, what I'm saying is, if the scriptures are not integrated into physical reality, the Bible will not make sense to me or you or anybody else.